Today, we do a deep dive into WikiLeaks and look at raw correspondence between Democrats and media members. You know, it often seems from the outside like they're colluding. Well, the emails released by Julian Assange prove their collusion. The raw emails from the DNC, Hillary's emails, John Podesta's emails. We dig into how the Democratic Party was placing fake ads that looked like Trump had placed the ad, but they had placed the ad to make Trump look like a fool. So posing as him to make him look bad, getting together fake accusers to ruin their opponents, getting together fake protesters, all the strange, dirty political tricks that the DNC was up to, exposed in WikiLeaks. I got together with Austin Steinbart, the creator of the Amorphous Archives, which is a comprehensive look at WikiLeaks, and he breaks it down for us in this video. Now, the full video is on my website, ivoryhacker.com, uncensored. There's so many topics in the WikiLeaks that YouTube bans that YouTube would deplatform me over. So if you want to see the full raw look at this, hit the link in description, ivoryhacker.com. Now, before we get into it, I got to shout out the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. It's being reported that the top 5 tech corporations are lobbying hard against consumer privacy. These corporations include Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Google, for example, boasted about delaying e-privacy regulations. They're also said to be colluding with Facebook. Amazon has also successfully lobbied against 36 privacy protection bills across 25 states. I do everything in my power to ensure my privacy online. That means that I keep my VPN on. A VPN allows you to surf the web anonymously, which means you'll prevent advertisers and corporations from creating profiles on you. I only use Virtual Shield VPN. Virtual Shield has been built from the ground up for your protection. I think it's the fastest, most reliable, easy to use, and secure. It's also available for iPhone and Android devices. I partnered with Virtual Shield to give my audience a 50% off for life and a free 30-day free trial of Virtual Shield during the holidays. Go to virtualshield.com/ivory. Click the link in description, virtualshield.com/ivory, to start protecting yourself online today for free. 30 days, then 50% off for life. All right, let's get into it. DNC emails here that Julian Assange exposed, showing the Democrats created an ad to look like Trump put out this ad. Take me through this.
Yeah, so this is Luis Miranda, the communications director for the DNC, right? So this isn't just some nobody, right? This is straight from the top. Them concocting this offensive Craigslist job ad that is supposedly like something that Trump is putting out there, and they're kind of like kicking it back and forth, and you see at the top he's saying, as long as all the offensive shit is verbatim, I'm fine with it. So they're essentially saying, like, we want to cast him as offensive in this specific way, so we're going to concoct this fake ad and attribute that to him. It's coming straight from the top, so it just shows like how dirty they are and how shameless they are.
Going to wikileaks.org, I typed keywords from what you had cut out there and brought up the full email, and it actually has the fake ad typed out here. It says that if you apply for this job working for Trump, he's going to call you honey bunches. The requirement is that you must be hot. And no gaining weight, so all these things to try to make Trump look bad. Is that even legal to do a fake ad like this posing as someone else? That's crazy.
It's definitely like a fraudulent thing to do, right? And They have no problem doing that whatsoever. Bird dogging is like you essentially hiring people to dress up as something and go put yourself in a crowd so they can get pictures of you. A lot of the times, and you saw this in the Glenn Youngkin thing, right, where the day before they're like, oh, look at this guy randomly with a Confederate flag there. All the media has these perfect pictures. So they'll hire dreamers, or they'll hire other various individuals to go and to bird dog, as they like to say, at the Trump rallies. Like the guy who dressed in the KKK outfit, or the people that are just the really unsavory, like visuals at the Trump rallies. A lot of times those are actually paid operatives of the DNC for a photo op to be able to cast the entire right as this, extreme, bigoted, KKK loving sort of a thing. So this is something I like to point out a lot too, is a lot of those protests, those massive left-wing protests that they act like are so natural, but get organized meticulously in 50 cities across the country in the matter of like 2 days. They're like, oh, it's just naturally people protesting. But a lot of times those are all organized directly from the top. And those little signs that they like to hold, like say, dump Trump, say no to bigotry, love Trump's hate, all that stuff. Those are slogans cooked up by white liberals in Washington, D.C., not organic, natural things that they would actually take to a protest. I try to explain to people like, it's hard to organize an event. If you have 2 months in advance to organize one event in one city, let alone, have this massive thing across the country where something will happen and 2 days later, there's all of these like perfectly organized protests where everybody has like a perfect sign. So there's a lot of astroturfing going on that side. And a lot of that isn't just people who are angry. It's people who are being led to be there or paid to be there.
Fascinating. I found this one interesting with the New York Times, though, allowing vetoes. I thought this was incredible when I read through the original email. So they do this email with Hillary, or they do the interview, send the transcript, and allow Hillary to delete any parts of the interview she didn't like.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? And that's the paper of record, the New York Times, one of these super prestigious, supposedly news outlets that is just allowing the subjects of its interviews to just cast it however they want.
Here's the interview. Here, he sent the whole transcript and told her to delete whatever she doesn't like. And basically, they said that they wanted to get rid of the mention of Sarah Palin, get rid of this mention of gay rights too.
I think Julian Assange's biggest problem in conveying this stuff is like there's just so much there that you actually have to dig to report on it. And I think a lot of journalists, like they just want to, be told the story and just kind of like serve it up to a silver platter. I don't want to have to dig for it. The ones that would be conducive to doing something like this. And you'd think that someone like Fox News, like I said, would be all over this because their viewers would love that. But no, they don't want to give legitimacy to anything that crosses the intelligence services.
The issue, I think, in modern journalism is that a lot of media outlets just don't give time to their journalists anymore to go digging. Like, today you're assigned to just research. That research days like rarely ever happen, from my experience.
Yeah, and a lot of organizations, I don't know if they're all as bad as CNN, but if you look at that Project Veritas stuff on CNN, like how Jeff Zucker is literally every day in the morning being like, all right, here's what we're talking about. Here's the story. Here's what you're going to say about it on every show. And then if you watch CNN throughout the day, as I had the opportunity to do in prison a little bit, every show, exact same thing. It's different faces parroting the exact same thing of whatever their president says that you are going to say today, you're going to say. So essentially they're like actors, right? Here's the script, you're going to read it, and if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. It's a shame because there's so much interesting stuff out there. There's so many interesting people. There's so much jaw-dropping corruption that, as a journalist right now, it should be like one of the most exciting times to be alive. Right? There's just an unlimited amount of everything out there.
Of corruption to investigate. Well, now the citizen journalists can look through this stuff themselves. And hopefully this segment kind of shows people what's in there and what more digging you can do. Again, our full look at WikiLeaks' hour-long interview with Austin Steinbart is linked in my description on my uncensored website, ivoryhecker.com. Let me know if what we're looking at here, what Julian Assange exposed, is the reason he is imprisoned right now and going through everything he's going through. Do you think his situation is tied to what he released? Comment below. Thanks for supporting my channel. Be sure to hit subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.